Fresh. Like you get some rest last night. Huh?
You look so.
You look like a whole new person today, boy. Really.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Good morning to listeners on 104.7. Good morning to Janice, Felicia, and Tony. Good morning to those following on social media. I just started a live video called Waking Up Time. It's my little piece of the show that's happening this morning. I know Felicia is here to talk about Pep Market and the grand launch of our next office. We're opening more office than all the other political parties put together.
Yes.
Tony, you're talking about a looking clean up babe. This is what soap does do. Listen, members, it's rough times. They say green guava season is dry coconut season. Man bathing in blue soap, you can't even afford life, boy.
Blue soap,
when you come out the shower, your skin have a white thing on it. You know you can't wash that up and it dry. Wake it up, people.
God.
Listen, pick up your telephone right now, wherever you are. Pick up your cell phone and text your mommy and your papi and your friend and your cousin. Tell them Philip Alexander is online.
Yes.
And we're going to wake it up this morning. Janice.
Yes.
What is sticking in your craw today? What have you vexed this morning? I hear you talking about Wilfred Espine, and I want to know why Wilfred Espine not in front of a magistrate somewhere in handcuffs?
Yes.
You tried to steal Petrotrin, partner?
Tell them.
The Minister of Energy say, wait a minute, pull up, selector, pat down. You can't sell it. Which begs the question Felicia asked earlier. Corporation Sole approves every sale.
Right.
You cannot sell a public asset without the direct approval of Corporation Sole. So if the Minister of Finance was not in the loop, that was theft. That was a grand act of fraud that tried to take place. Mr. Director of Public Prosecutions, Mr. Commissioner of Police, do all your job.
Yes.
Be placed under arrest. Launch the investigation. We need the evidence of prosecution. There was some point in this food chain, somebody said to somebody, let me sell Paria.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's bubble. I'm telling you, it's bubble.
Janice, you can't put out a request for proposal without a lot of people being in that loop.
Exactly. Exactly.
That ain't no one-man thing. Lock up Espine and start there. Start there. They say no call the Hart and Johnny O'Halloran time. I tell Trinidad and Tobago, the Progressive Empowerment Party is here. You see, yesterday UNC put out a release in all their groups. Stop sharing Philip Alexander videos. Panicking. Watch now. They panicking. The UNC know they irrelevant. The PNM know we coming. Watch now. You see everybody saying I'm waiting for Game of Thrones to come back on this year? Because they know dragons flying. Watch now. The Progressive Empowerment Party is growing not at a clip, at a gallop.
Yeah.
We are opening a North headquarters this coming Saturday at 5 o'clock. What started off as a political tremor is a full-blown political earthquake. The seismic unit at UE measuring the march of the Orange Army coming down right now in Trinidad and Tobago. Yeah. Felicia, tell them what's happening on the 23rd in Barataria.
I love where you come and hide.
Fire.
Before you start, did you hear the gentleman who called in this morning and said to Mikey K, don't talk about who coming on next after the show?
Yeah, they're afraid.
They're afraid. They don't want people.
But I want to tell Trinidad and Tobago something. Me and Mikey K is friend. Mikey K is my comrade in arms. The Ground Report and I have worked together. We have worked in the vineyards. We have stood in the mist and the rain and the darkness. Felicia say, sit down there quivering in the cold. We've been there when plenty people were sitting down home, comfortable, wrap up in their blanket, drinking hot chocolate. We outside there on the front line fighting. Stakeholders United movement. We have the same mission. The Progressive Empowerment Party is the ground. We are the rising tide that will lift all boats. It is time for the political division, the racial division, the bullshit economics that passing in this country to done.
Well said. Well said. And when you say something wrong, I go tell you you're wrong. But let me tell you, well said,
Listen
brother.
to me now. This is not a
Right?
party like Rowley Party, you know.
Yeah.
I don't need Stuart Young and Farris to sit down there like trained seals in my front line and clap for me. When people look at the Progressive Empowerment Party, they see an army of critical thinkers, of people who could get it done. The leadership of the Progressive Empowerment Party is a real organization. We are capable of functioning under a media blackout with no financial money.
Yes,
They have a man who launched a party.
Tell me.
He said he have $30 million in the war chest. Every time he start his stall. Every time he start his stall, they just look at what we do and think it's easy.
Yeah.
When I hear Alpha Raymond and Paulo Kernahan and them talk, I just think to myself, These fellas outside there fooling their handful of followers. Every now and then you'll drop a video, you'll put out a column and people will clap. But what happens when the curtain comes down?
Is it right?
People still in the pressure.
Yeah.
We talking today about Wilfred Espinay. We was talking about Calder Hart. We was talking about everything that took place. Live sport, where that money? Because Kamla Persad-Bissessar know the Progressive Empowerment Party while we go into Justin Trudeau to get back our towers in Scarborough, Toronto, that Johnny O'Halloran thief from children of Trinidad and Tobago. We also won back our money from Adolphus Daniel and Live Sport. We won back that $34 million that was paid for nothing.
Yes, man. Yes, man.
And
Tell
Attorney
them.
General stand up in the Parliament and say the way the contract was written, they have no way out of it. Miss me with that bullshit. One Alexandra Place was signed with a lease that you can't break. Come now, man, pull the other leg now, man. This one is a fake.
This is not a fetting here. This is madness.
And then the same UNC that discovered that Faris Al-Rawi was the owner of One Alexandra Place, and he and Manning concocted in the death of that PNM party on the eve of the 2010 election to give the Nahus family a lease for One Alexandra Place. Kamla find out about that. How come she didn't terminate? They have more lawyer in the UNC than anything.
That's right.
How come they didn't terminate that lease?
Yeah.
Why did Chandra Sharma get allowed to do $83 million worth of upgrades to Faris Al-Rawi family building? These people think we're stupid. The PNM and the UNC is two sides of the same corrupt coin. None of them, neither of them have the people's interest at heart. And I dare Kamla Persad-Bissessar and Keith Rowley to meet me anytime, anywhere, live on national TV. Let's debate the issues. Let's talk about where we're going and where we come from. All you have to defend all your track record. Anytime. Rowley say meet me outside, partner outside now.
Ah, boy. Yeah, good. Fresh air in the place, all here. Oh, gosh, Felicia.
Yes, darling.
How you going? Gil?
I'm
How you
great,
going? I
I'm
see,
great.
I see your boy Hayen all this morning.
No, she here to talk about what she have organized for them coming on Saturday. I want to hear about that.
Yes, yes.
No, but yes,
Okay,
this
go ahead.
Saturday at 10th Avenue, Barrett area. Now, this is our fourth office week, but actually our research officer, she said, Felicia, you was drinking last night, or it's just 3? I said, no, Anne-Marie, we have 4 offices. We actually opened our New York office last year, December the 19th, I believe it was. That is our office that is still there functioning. They're actually having a soup sale this Saturday. So we have local
Yeah,
and
New York
international
doing great
offices.
work.
Yes.
New York doing
So our
great
international
work.
New York team, you all are doing
And
amazing.
to Joan and
work.
Anthony Sinanan, even though they say yet that is a Toronto office, I know we have 5 offices, you know. Even though we never account for that Toronto office, them people in Toronto doing work, you know.
No, they working.
Kezia and the crew, Pacos and all of them up there in Toronto, the PEP representatives on the ground in Toronto working hard.
Yeah, but Philip, we have to pick up the Florida team too, because they pulling together real
Absolutely,
job. They coming
that's
together, and that's one thing the Progressive Empowerment can boast that we have across the diaspora. Trinbagonians are looking at what is happening in this country.
And coming
They
together.
can realize the bullshit for what it is. They
Yeah.
see, and what a lot of people here can't see, that PNM, UNC.
No, but
the
you see,
family
they've
here still
escaped.
suffering.
Felicia, they've escaped. You see, when you get to the point where you pull out that grip, you know, everybody have suitcases, but you have a grip
Yeah.
inside of there. You know what I'm talking about? You have this one thing that you know that when that pack and you're gone, you're gone.
That's a day. That's a day.
Plenty women know what I'm talking about, you know.
Yeah, but Philip,
They-
you
every
bet-
time your husband behaving bad,
yeah, what
you
is
watch
that,
one eye on that grip, and you know that the day click, them 2 lock close.
Oh, God.
Fire bunny. Trinidad is like that. When you see people reach there, you know, and they say, "I'm done. I can't take it no more." PNM, UNC, same abuse, same racism, same nonsense. I'm done. I'm gone. I'm going to live in the next man country. I'm going to mop floor in the hospital and park cars in the parking lot. And then you hear a Progressive Empowerment Party breaking like a real dawn in this country. And you start to hear what you always knew to be true. And you start to feel a resurgence of hope that my home could work. That all the first world things that I take for granted in this country I can have in my land in Trinidad and Tobago are not yes massa, no massa. Afraid to see when ice passing. Afraid to say, this green card real?
Yeah.
Because I can go home and beat my chest. I from Trinidad and Tobago. My navel string berry here. I ain't no other man. They want that bad.
Yeah, how you
The
mean if they want
foreign
that bad?
Trinbagonians, the foreign-based Trinbagonians, Felicia, they itching. They want it
Boy,
bad.
I am
They want to
testament
come
to
back
that.
here. They want to bring foreign-made black disinfectant to help we scrub down Trinidad and Tobago.
Industrial
Yeah, but Philip,
strength.
that's also testament that even though the breakup happened, they still have a deep love for their country, right? Because none of them could be doing this if it wasn't for that love for this
When
country.
you leave, you never forget.
No,
Never.
you
You
don't.
never forget. My brother My brother is the tip of the spear for Canada Health. My brother is an epidemiologist. When they have SARS and swine flu and bird flu, it's my brother that is sent to Mexico to find the pig and send him to India to find the bird. That's what he does. His 2 children grew up, but they have 3 now. He adopted a little girl from India, from the slums in India, from the ghettos in India, from an orphanage in India. And he tell me, he said, Philip, there's a kind of poverty in India that's so pervasive, you just feel it in your skin. And he said that what he watched happen in 10 years, how they turn around that massive economy from being the world's ghetto and the world's slum to being the largest economy. India just eclipsed China. India economy bigger than China. India has the largest middle class in the world now, a real middle class. When you have 600 million people out of your 1 billion people as middle class,
That's
because
plenty.
the middle class is really a buffer between that gives the poor something to aspire to. You have chances. It's everybody looking to go buy Michael Abud and Toil Bator or to go buy Christian Muti and pack KFC fries. It is real opportunities and real jobs. And my brother tell me, he said, Philip, the life I have up here, if I put out my garbage, he said my garbage go out in different color bins. On a Tuesday is plastics, on a Wednesday is glass.
Right, recyclables.
When I put out my different color bins, if that truck is late, I could get on the phone and make a call. In I had a laugh, eh? But I laugh. No, but I laugh. I laugh at the truck, I laugh at the phone, I laugh at the call, and I'm thinking all the things that don't work in Trinidad and Tobago. But my brother tell me, he said, what you all doing there? And we have his full support. Because Carrick sent to hire him. We have so many good people. When people ask who go do it, like that caller on Monday who called to say they had to work with them past ministers.
Yeah, madness.
Not a fire truck of that.
Yeah.
We don't have to deal with nothing recycled. We ain't swallowing back no vomit. We come out here to clean house. And if when the investigations into the evidence and the gathering evidence stage proves that ministers and prime ministers were responsible, Trinidad will also become one of those first world nations that gladly say, Prime Minister make a jail for being involved in criminal co-conspiracy to defraud and self-enrich. We must ensure, when Felicia asked this morning, Janice was correct, we need procurement in this country, procurement rules. You can't just wake up in the morning and say, let me sell this and let me buy that.
Yeah, madness. Felicia.
Back to the launch of the Baratari office, we segued. But yeah, so this Saturday, we are opening our 4th office, like I was saying, and everything we're talking about today is the reason why there's a pepper and the reason why this office is opening, and everything dovetails together because we are really the rescue of this nation. I'm listening, like I said, I was listening to the program before the ground report, and I'm trying to understand at what point we're going to see that whether we under the PNM, whether we under the UNC, we still can't get water, we still suffering, and we still catching our ass here in Trinidad and Tobago. So the Progressive Empowerment Party, this party that was formed from the people, by the people, for the people, we are opening our 4th office, and this is giving our people in the north an opportunity to come and meet with us at our Baratari office. It's number 24, 10th Avenue, Baratari. It's between 6th and 7th Street. This Saturday, we're also presenting our caretakers in the North Hub. So we have our caretakers for Barataria, Diego Martin, West Central.
Everything between Diego Martin, West and St. Joseph, above Caroni. Yeah. All those 10 constituencies, Laventille East, Laventille West, St. Anne's, Port of Spain North, Port of Spain South, everybody. Yeah. Everybody. We're waking up the North and then we're heading east in 6 weeks to open Tampuna Road, but we're sticking a pen in that one and focusing on the North. It is time, Trinidad and Tobago. When that lady called in, and like you, I was listening to Mikey and the boys and Lennox and Ghost on the ground report this morning doing human service for this nation. When that lady called and asked when we will march, she know there's a resurgence of hope in Trinidad and Tobago. For the first time, people feeling it. They're telling you yesterday, a man who knew me as a little boy walking past his business every day from school to home, he still call me on the phone and tell me, boy, I have never felt what I'm feeling now. What y'all doing have us feeling like this country could save, it could make it, we could come back. For the first time in a long time, I'm feeling like we have a chance. That is the Progressive Empowerment Party. That is that chance. My mother called me on the phone. She said, why Kamala wearing orange on the TV? I said, because Kamala want to join the PEP too. Even Kamala want to join the PEP. Faris and Al Rawi and them in the cabinet meeting, they'll be calling my name more than anybody's name, you know.
Yeah.
Get him inside of here now, boy. What we could do? What we could do?
The radio.
Tell them, no, not just me, us, this team. And what they had to do is, Rowley, this morning, what you have to do is resign. Resign.
Yeah.
Admit you failed. Admit you failed. When the people drive past on the corner of Polkaroo Street and Tragrit Road and see what used to be Woodbrook Primary School that here since before Trinidad had independence, under construction 15 years now,
Listen to the level of that kind of madness.
on the corner of Polkaroo
Yeah.
and Tragrit Road because they have some 1%ers that know that this piece of property is a valuable piece of property, so firebomb them little children. We want it for we want to eat, we want to send we children, drape it in jewelry to parade in Paris and pretend that we are successful businessmen. Give we doctorate, give we order of Trinidad and Tobago, give we Shakonia gold. Let me go outside and sit down in the front pew of the church, in the mosque and the temple and say to Allah and to Jesus and to Mother Lakshmi, watch me. Like you could fool God. You're putting a big blue note in the collection plate when it passes and you're making a big gesture. Janice, you know when you're poor, you pull out that $2 in the church and you know where you would have preferred to spend that $2. I mean, even if it is a Tambran ball. Because when you're poor, you're poor.
It's true.
And every dollar that you spend,
That counts.
you just look back at that dollar when it gone in the cash register. You hear that draw, click, click. And you know that dollar is not your dollar anymore. It's gone. And you have to think
real.
twice. You say measure 3 times and cut once before you spend. You're holding that dollar so hard, the bird's balling. So when you're putting it in the connection plate, you're making a little gesture and you're resting it in the thing. And you watch the man walk away with that basket with your 2 Tambran ball. But the fellas and them who thiefing win.
Yeah.
They're making a big gesture, but you seen all under their armpit as they
Yeah,
put in
yeah.
that $100 in the plate. Watch we care my half-red ass. Trinidad and Tobago, this morning, it is time to name and shame the offenders. And I tell you this, we will drag them into Port of Spain court. All of these mocking pretenders in the Cayennes and the Mercedes-Benz and the BMWs, you will hear them mea culpas. You will see TTT and TB6 and CNC3 saying in a bright daylight raid, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service and members of the fraud squad executed warrants in Goodwood Park and Fairways and Sinclair and Gulfview. You seen them in the Gucci and the Armani in front of the magistrate.
Hey, you reason my pause, boy.
But that is the country that we need to be. Stop thinking that the bullshit artists will get away every time. Like this run till they catch
That's
it.
it.
They come in.
That's it. Tell them, brother. Tell them.
I remember last year, a year before, you had made a comment when Malcolm Jones had passed away. And he said he should not rest in peace. And a lot of people were in uproar about that because they couldn't understand how you could say that. And I remember anytime I was trying to understand, we should be nice and kind. And I'm like, why are we being nice and
And then you
kind
see
to people?
Petrotrin collapse.
And then you see
That wasn't nice
And
and
then
kind
the
to-
words, and then the information come out and the rest of Trinidad, like when I give him a she buff. And then the information come out and the rest of Trinidad see the nonsense that the Sabga News Network and him. And they realize Gary had to buff she twice. Gary had to buff she twice. He come back and give her a second buff in case she forget from the first time. A man post Kriyan Singh, former Senator Kriyan Singh post on his Facebook yesterday, Hema will interview the buck before she interview Philip Alexander. I said, they afraid. Hema Ramkisoon, you're a coward.
You are
Nicholas Sabga, you're a coward. Put me on the radio, on the TV station. But I want to tell you and Tobago, I know, you know, that CNC3 free to air broadcasting on our bandwidth. If you do not level the playfield, Nicholas Sabga, Progressive Empowerment Party will shut you down. We want media for everybody, not just for those who could afford it.
That's right. That's right.
This ain't no pay to play.
Boy, Trinidad, all you just need to understand what's your worth, what is deserved to you.
If this was a real country on Saturday at 5 p.m., there would be a phalanx of media outside jostling over one another to take pictures of the coming storm. They know, you know.
Yeah.
They know.
They feel it.
When they sit down in the little cubby holes and the cubicles exchanging butternut in the newsroom, they know. They know.
Boy,
They know. When the UNC have to send out to their admins, we're not approving Philip Alexander videos, you know. The other videos harmless. Share them. Share them. Share Paulo Kernahan. Share Alpha Raymond. Share them. Philip on a ban. You know why? Because every single time somebody hear the Progressive Empowerment Party and they listen to this message of hope, They break off their shackles. They open their minds. They stand up and they speak out. When you go on the UNC walls, on the PNM walls, on CNC TV6 Newsday, and they publish their bullshit, and you go and you read all of the comments from citizen Trinidad and Tobago, they know we coming.
They know. They know. It's Trinidad is for you to know. It's for you to know, Trinidad and Tobago, because this is all for you. It's all for you.
In the San Fernando launch, every single one of those caretakers that walked up to that podium mic to speak, every single one of them filled me with hope. Fill me with hope. They have so many people that's called me and tell me, Phil, I'm with you, you know. I'm with you. I'm behind the scenes. I tell people, I say, if we name this party behind the scenes, we win already. Because there are so many cowards outside there that just want to touch base with you. Right, Tony? They calling your tones. I'm with you, Felicia. You know, I hear, right? But I'm behind the scenes. You know why they're telling you that? Because they suspect that we will win. And if we win, I was there with you, you know, even though I was behind the scenes. Listen, you ain't helping me behind the scenes.
That's right.
You're not helping me behind the scenes. This is a rescue mission. Don't stand up on the sideline and tell me, yeah. This is triage. We rescuing the downtrodden, the hurting, those who broken, those who have no choice but to go outside there and sell weed and cocaine this morning to feed their family. When you hold them big shots, they go tell me, but boy, we didn't have no choice. But marijuana growers who can't get work. You want them to go on toll baton for amalgamated security and collect minimum wage. And at the end of the month, when they get that $2,250 less NIS that used to pay for Siam discotheque for 1% to go and boogie around the savannah. When that man get that check, that woman get that $2,250. If you get $2,250 at the end of the month, what you paying with that?
Yeah.
What you paying with that?
Philip, I have to say, because I listened to you tell that story, but it is so much of a reality for me living in Belmont. Just last week, I'm having a real-time discussion with a friend of mine who got laid off of his job in the wave of layoffs that we had last year. And he is now to the place where he's wondering if he should go back to drugs. No, not drugs, but moving drugs for people. And I mean, I'm talking to him and I'm telling him, of course, I don't want you to do that. You're trying to encourage him. But he said, you know, if it gets to that point, what I will do. And that's exactly what they have to study.
Felicia, when a man reach between crime and death as his options, and when they tell you, a man tell me yesterday on the phone, he said, Mr. Philip, they take me out of Laventille, you know, but they can't take the Laventille out of me. At some point, police will put a bullet in me for trying to feed my children, and that hurt me, boy. In the third wealthiest country in the world, a man have to have that as a choice. And then they have people sitting down in Goodwood Park and Westmoreland plotting and planning for this nation's demise. So they could migrate and go and live somewhere and pretend that they were somehow successful. A successful thief. A successful bandit. Lenny Sate was supposed to tell the nation, I am not accepting any public awards until I pay back the money that I take for Southland Mall, that Manning forgive. Manning forgive his chairman and treasurer public funds. You don't have that authority. And the people didn't know that Manning didn't have that authority. May he rot for all eternity. Somebody want to come on my wall and say, Manning do this and Manning do that. Listen, you can't be the man who giving your wife KFC and flowers and then beating her in the night. There is no, it doesn't work that way. You're either good or you're not. Don't be good, but. You know?
Yeah, no but. We don't need no but. No but.
You're cuffing the woman in her face and then you're bringing flowers. That's the analogy.
Yeah.
That's the analogy. Because you can't say to me that you were the prime minister of this country that had the opportunity to steer the largest energy boom we've ever seen. And instead of working it to the benefit of all the people you enrich, friends and finances, call the heart great-grandchildren will never have to work, and that's a joke. They have some people in this country from with Gyrostan and cloth stores who are billionaires today. I know a man who went into with UNC. He was a contractor. He had tobacco and 5 cars for rent, knuckles dragging in the ground, bouncing check all over Trinidad and Tobago. By the end of 5 years, he imported a Rolex. He had so much money, he wanted to be able to tell people he had so much money. This bounce check artist had so much money in 5 years with Kamala that he import a man to bring the Rolex to put it in his hand.
Wow.
That is what you call stupid money. You know, people tell you, that is an argument that a man tell me, you know when you're rich? You're rich when you could ring a bell and somebody come and say, yes, sir. I said, I'm not rich. Rich is when you have somebody working for you. Their work is to ring that bell.
Yeah, that's our next level. Yeah.
That is our next level.
Yeah, but Philip, that's our money.
Janice, it's disgusting. What am I tell you? What am I tell you? What you want me to tell you? It's disgusting. The lady who called this morning and asked, when will we come out? It is going to happen. When Denise Plummer had said, just so people is overflowing to the street, that resonated with me in a way that few words and lines of words have ever done. Because that is where we're going to get to. At some point, people are going and say, and you're going to know. You know when you just know that this one is the real one?
Yeah.
We're done. When the people of Iceland overflowed into the street, the bankers and the government knew, the politicians knew this was a different day. When Egypt overflowed into the street, they knew the Arab Spring. This was no longer a game. When the Muslims went to pray and the Christians formed a wall around them, you knew one people under one flag had arrived.
Yeah, that's true.
We are getting to there. And I say this without fear of contradiction. It is time the people of Trinidad and Tobago put aside petty squabbles, put aside the nonsense of manufactured racism. When you learn that Mohandas Gandhi, the Mahatma, his first activism wasn't in India, but South Africa to fight apartheid, to support Nelson Mandela. When you hear that and you know that, there is nowhere in the world the grandchildren of Africa and the grandchildren of India have conflict. Nowhere. Nowhere.
No, yes, I can tell you one place where. Right here.
But besides here, besides the stupidity, the morbid insipidity of PNM UNC foolishness, besides here, Felicia, besides here, and I tell them all the time, when those caretakers walked up to that podium, it was reminiscent of y'all, people like y'all, because I knew, Tony, when I had to make the decision, because like every other person with political aspirations, your first two choices to look at is the PNM and the UNC. Which one do I join and rise and benefit and get a post? They have a man named Brian Begg in the UNC. He was an acting senator for one day. He calls himself senator. He's acting senator for one day, you know. Devant Maraj was a senator under the UNC. His Facebook name is former Senator Dev. These people have no self-respect. They all ego and nothing else. So if I wanted to be one of them, and I told myself, you know, that could never be my legacy. If I am in politics, my legacy must be, and people must know that because you lived, their children's lives are better. I like when people call on the phone and say, Philip, I know you know. I know every single day that I reach home early at the end of the day in Diego Martin and have that extra 2-3 hours to spend time with my children and my family, I thank God you had the belly to stand up and invent, because that's what it was. Colm Imbut say that they knew how to solve traffic all the time and never solved it for Diego Martin. Colm Imbut knows. Right now, he can pick up the phone and call Rohan Sinan and say, Rohan, if we want to solve the people traffic in Maraval, all we need to do is make Bossier Village into LSD Park, into Barbados Road, right back around to Upper Long Circular Road. If we make that a one-way, 2 lanes from Saddle Road to the Savannah. If we made it so that all of the traffic in Maraval would empty itself. But they want to spend $500 million to cover the Maraval River before they try something as simple as that don't even need a backhoe. All you need is some no entry signs. That's all you need, and you solve the traffic. And every single way in this country, there's a place and a space. But we're not doing it. We have governments come to office, and I knew I could go and work with them because of Gary Griffith. When Gary was Minister of National Security, I was the chairman of the Jericho Project, and we were working with the poor and the homeless and the disabled. And we came up with this idea called the Second Chance Foundation for the homeless, to bring the homeless off the streets, to give them a place to go where you could identify, because we did a study and we found that most of the homeless in Trinidad and Tobago are there because of drug addiction, mental illness, or people who just failed at life. So the drug addicted, you could put in rehabilitation and work with them. The mentally ill, you put them in facilities that could treat with them with dignity and respect. And those who just failed at life, you give them a chance to restart. When you are trying to stand back up is the hard part, you know. That's the hardest part because there's so much costs that come with life. When I tell people zero deposit on your first home, zero deposit, and people push back, what they don't understand is acquiring that deposit is the hurdle.
Yeah.
Once you give them that chance, Trinbagonian poor people is who put Sabga to own Macau. Because Fens of Marabella didn't grow on Goodwood Park. Fens of Marabella and Courts built the biggest warehouse Courts have in the Western world in Trinidad. And all these stores built these stores on Chinese penny a day. Poor people will pay their bills. Poor people pay their bills. And you could create that situation in housing. Make housing affordable to all. Make cheap, affordable housing, starter homes that will revolutionize this country. Because all the studies show that you can't fight crime in nations where the family is broken. All of the issues we're talking about, bipolar, anxiety, mental illness, depression, comes from the fact that our families are broken and they have nowhere to develop and grow. Little children, when I spend time with my children, I feel for the people who have 2 and 3 jobs, who don't see theirs. Father coming home and the children sleeping and leaving before the children wake up. Man make a joke with me, tell me, boss, my children just call me uncle, my own dog is back at me.
Oh my goodness.
They just tell me think they cry, we laughing, but you gotta let go that pressure a little bit. You can't just give them the reality because they'll go mad.
I nearly going mad already.
Tony, they will go mad.
Until I coming on the road here, just this morning, I sit down in traffic an hour and a half, boy. Listen, man, and I saw no reason under the sun I needed to sit down in traffic for an hour and a half, man. Philip, man. Really, bro.
The rotten criminality of the PNM and the UNC is why you and your family have to sit in traffic. The diseased incompetence, the maladministration of Keith Rowley, Kamla Prasad Bisesa, Basdio Pandey, and Patrick Manning. Those 4 jackass horses of the apocalypse. This jackass farming we've had as government in this country. I want to tell you, all we have to do today, if the government said today, massive decentralization, phase one, put online and digitize whatever could be put online and digitized. That does not mean you will not have an office to come to.
Right.
But for those who can do it online, do it online. Because we have generations of people who don't know what a phone book is anymore. We were talking about that the other day. Felicia, who has the contract to print that phone book for TSTT? That has to be the biggest racket in Trinidad and Tobago.
It has to
Because
be.
nobody, I don't even know. I don't even know what a phone book
You use a phone book to stack your table. When
No, but listen, my son is 25 by hand. My son is phone because I look up a number. He asked me 3 questions. What is this? What do you mean by look up and what's a number? And then I just go in high-low once for the year and see a mountain of these books and I'm wondering, who have this racket contract? You're printing books that nobody need.
Yeah.
People say, well, the old people still using the phone book. Okay, but listen, again, we destroy them with critical thinking, you know. You own the database of who have phones. So you know who is above the age of 50. You could tell yourself we have 27,000 people above the age of 50 who own phones, still using phone books, and we could actually deliver. TT Post have nothing else to do.
Straight to them.
Deliver the phone book addressed to Mr. or Miss so-and-so. Look your phone book. Look your phone book.
No,
And
but
you know...
it looks nicer to have a mountain of books in a location.
I don't think that's what it is. I think it is a racket. I think it is a printer book racket. And even just that. Even just those things are upsetting because, you know, when we talk about it, Trinidadians laugh.
But it's not
But
only
it's your
it's
money.
not only printing a book like the phone book, like even in education with schools, why do students have to carry 100 pounds of
Giving
books
them
on their back?
scoliosis. Giving them scoliosis and bossy
I
back.
have books. I have textbooks that I have barely even.
Never open.
Yeah, there's
What about this stupid geometry pan?
There's
What
Joe.
about this stupid geometry pan?
I have a 3 or 4.
Man, I'm telling you, is we are so far behind.
That was like a
because
toy in my school
in the
bag.
21st century,
Giving children a weapon.
A student literally could be walking not with a school bag but with a flash drive. All the information for the entire tenure they have in school for
Brother,
any
the
semester.
money that we spend on school books, it would be cheaper to automate the desk. It would be cheaper to build in automated desks in the
Touch
classroom.
screen
in the
with
classroom.
yes.
Tony,
man.
we are at the point now, if you go on social media and you look and you will realize that the best in the world are offering classes at things. They have a whole leaders school that you find out that you could be lectured by Elon Musk of Tesla. That you could hear Richard Branson talking about business. And you could have one video broadcast to 200,000 children on the cloud.
Yeah.
All this nonsense about this teacher not working and that teacher sick. Give everybody a rest. If we can't elevate and listen, if all your vex cry blood, because you all have had opportunities to educate the nation's children and you didn't.
Yes.
You have had opportunities to elevate the condition of these people from poverty. A teacher has a magic wand. A teacher could touch a life. I will never forget Mr. Forbes in St. Mary's College in Form 1. I was a tiny fella in Form 1. Everybody was bigger than me. Everybody, the whole world was large.
So what went on? Anyway, go ahead.
Cow heel soup. No, I had a growth spurt. But in Form 1, boy, I was tiny. And I used to literally hold my corner. For I afraid everybody. Big school frightened me. I used to get lost in St. Mary's. Form 1. Mr. Forbes was a barrel-chested black man with a booming voice. Mr. Forbes walked in the classroom and put down his books on the desk. Everybody quiet. Heads front. Mr. Forbes said, Philip Alexander, stand up. Jesus Christ. Tony, your legs ever shake all the way up to your neck?
Serious. It wasn't
Serious.
me.
He talking to me and I answering him and my teeth rattling in my head. So I say, everybody hearing my teeth rattling in my head. He said, come here, come forward. Jesus. I never stand up in front of class before in my life. So me with my tiny self, Mr. Forbes behind me, and I stand up in front of the class, facing this class, I wanted dead. I literally want the ground below me to open so I could collapse into a hole in the ground. Mr. Forbes said, read this. And he handed me my essay
Your essay.
that I wrote. And I thought that I wrote such foolishness that this is the prize I won. He's going to embarrass me. Read your nonsense right with the hair.
It's got me emotional.
So I stand up there, my hands shaking, my legs shaking, my teeth shaking, and I'm chattering, and I'm reading. And when I read the last word, I hear Mr. Forbes' two big black hands clapping. And the whole class stand up and clap. Mr. Forbes said to me behind my back, I want to pee myself, you know. You have the soul of a writer. Don't ever stop writing. It is still, I stopped counting my published blog at 1 million words. Blogger.com tell me you've hit 1 million words. And every one of those words were connected to Mr. Forbes in St. Mary's College, who told me, you have the soul of a writer. A teacher has the power to...
Make up.
Very true. Very
When
true.
somebody believes in a child and gives them encouragement, because children learn what they live. So many children are told, you will amount to nothing. You'll become nothing. You is nothing. You're black and poor and stupid. You're an Indian from an Indian family. Your foot go forever be in the mud. This is bullshit we tell people, you know. I was told, and when I went into St. Mary's College, because I grew up in Woodbrook, and in the street that I grew up in, we didn't know that there was such a thing as racism. We were inoculated and cut off from whatever racism exists. In my clip alone, it was me, Bruce Pusher, Dave Cowlesser, and Colin Young from next door. And me with my half-Syrian self, I look, and Leonard Edgell, white man. And I look back now and say, but we was the United Nations. And it wasn't planned. That's just how Woodbrook was. And that's why I lament the destruction of Woodbrook. But when I went into St. Mary's College, and I learned what racism was, and there were people who believed themselves white and right, and would shame you that you're not white. shame you for not being white. And I didn't know that white was something to aspire to. And I had to go through that and learn that. And I realized that life teaches you what you need to learn to get you where life needs you to be at. So that you could come back. I have a friend, Edmund Moy. His wife Solange used to tell me, all the wives thought I was like the free slave who come in and tell the husbands, hey, we could lie him, You know, life gives you knowledge that you could come out and make a difference. We, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, have never had a government that rewarded teachers. You could imagine if at the end of the school term, we talk about abolishing the SEA and making a GPA for all children so that the supervisor of education could monitor the performance of every school every term in every constituency. We talk about that so that we could identify the lowest performing students and the teachers, and get rid of the teachers and elevate the students. Give these squeaky wheels some grace. Right. But what we didn't say is that system also allows you to recognize and reward the highest performing teachers. I want to see teachers living their best lives. I want to give them something to aspire to. We want to talk about when you become a vice principal or a principal under a Progressive Empowerment Party government, it must be from a career of excellence as a teacher. That you have your master's in education or your doctorate, and that you come and that your students are doing well and better. When you become a vice principal, that must be a massive thing. Yeah. You must get tax-free status. That these senators, you bring nothing to the table, they make you a senator for no reason. You sit down there and toe party line for 6 months, and you have a tax-free status to buy car 50% cheaper, when teachers should be the ones benefiting from that.
Yeah.
Give high-performing teachers that, so that all teachers have something to aspire to. Yeah. Imagine you become a school principal. You are Mr. or Miss so-and-so in society. When you become a school principal, it is a reward for a career of human service above and beyond. That you've molded minds. Right now we have a situation where 7,000 children fail.
Totally unacceptable. Totally.
What does... No, but the numbers tell us the average, the estimate, 3,000 do show up for any exam. Out of the 20,000 that does SEA, by the time you reach Form 5, at least 3,000 gone. Now nobody could account for them. And 4,000 get 0 passes at the end of the CXC, or whatever they're calling it now.
Right.
0 passes.
SCA.
No, not SCA. I'm talking about at Form 5.
Oh, Form 5, yeah.
0 passes. You need 3 CXC passes to pack a dinner box in KFC.
Imagine.
So you have 0 passes. What does Trinidad and Tobago think you do to buy your medicine when you have a headache? What do they think? When your stomach rumbling, do we think that these are disposable people? Where are the systems in this country to say unacceptable? That our education system must leave not one child behind.
Right now we're leaving 7,000.
Follow up on the children who are being left behind. The children who are not making it to school for days, weeks, months on end.
That's the responsibility of the teacher, the principal, and the supervisor of education and the Ministry of Education. All 4 of them failing the nation right now. People phoning it in, they're showing up for work. This is not about... Teaching is a sacrosanct profession, you know. Teaching is a calling. It's like nursing. It's like what journalism used to be. Publish though the heavens fall. That's what you have to do. That's what journalism used to be. Real lawyers. The rule of law, justice. Those things used to mean something. Now everybody wants to go into BMW and Mercedes-Benz and buy a car and drive around with your balding, overweight ass. So people say, hey, look at them, you looking cute, eh? A nation of shit snakes masquerading. That's what we produce. That's what we produce. I have a friend, he's a doctor, he's a surgeon, he's a pediatric surgeon. I tell people this, he is renowned as the best in the Caribbean. Renowned, you know. The man is an amazing doctor. He drives a pickup truck and lives in a townhouse, the most humble of men. And I think to myself, and I know him as a friend, I wouldn't tell him this face, but But it is people like him that keep me believing. Because sometimes I think I have to be a madman. When you and Felicia and Janice and Sean and the rest of the team stand up, I'm thinking, are we insane?
Yeah.
This is a country where political criminality is what people do.
Is the norm. Is the norm. And it's like when we talk about
Tony, I'm
what
surprised
wrong-
the UNC and the PNM come and make you offer yet to Felicia.
Well, let me-
Felicia asked me last night, I can share some information. Felicia asked me last night, how come Shamla Maraj called me on her show about the disabled people? I said, because nobody will think you're disabled.
Well, you're absolutely correct because she showed more strength.
No, but
and-
I use the word Felicia Holland disabled in one sentence. Do you ever think of her as
No,
disabled?
It's
no,
a
I
different
don't.
label. It's a different
Not even
I-
the
And I
differently
said even
able.
then I still do think
let me
about
tell you,
myself
you-
like
I can't. She texting me this, and she texting faster than me with my two hand texting back.
yeah, take right on to reply.
I type in.
No, but I am it's like now, right now that you've just brought that topic up, and it's only now, right now in this moment that I am now looking at Felicia in that light.
But if I tell her Sunday morning I'm holding the baby in one arm and I'm trying to make eggs. So I'm cracking eggs with my left hand. And out of the 5 eggs that I tried to crack, I lost 3. I said, how you do this? How you do this?
No, listen.
No, he really asked
Felicia, you are very, very much unbelievable, and I think.
No, but when she
boy,
raised it to me, she asked me that question last time. It's only then I say, oh, yes, oh God, this girl differently able.
Oh, she's an inspiration, boy. She's
But
an
Shamla Maraj
inspiration.
can't call you because that show is to moan. That show is to say why life is just so hard and I can't, or to go and say, I could do something, clap for yourself. People like Felicia, this girl who is the lawyer who have no arms at all, what's her name?
Vera.
That girl. I met her.
Yeah.
And I tell you, when I met you, you were there.
She went to school with me.
No, but you were there when I met her at that
I was
meeting
there
in
when you met
Valsade.
her. I introduced you to her.
I asked, listen,
Yeah, he came like a little fan. Boy, can you introduce me to
I
her?
gush when I meet this
I
girl.
was blushing now.
I gush, but I couldn't find words. Tony, when I tell her something, this woman, she have no arms. And she doesn't approach the world. She will get vexed that we saying this and calling her differently able. Because to her, she not.
And I think that was the point of me raising the question to you, Philip, is that I don't consider myself as, and I think that is what I would like to project about people who are differently able or consider differently able, that you don't have to be confined to the mindset
Listen,
that you are, that
you
you
have-
can be anything that you want to be. You can be the chairman of a political
Felicia,
party.
you have proven that concept totally out the door.
Without,
you have proven
without,
that.
without Felicia Hole as chairman of the Progressive Empowerment Party, we would not have reached there.
I agree with that.
We had a chairman before Felicia. You know that?
I
Well, understand that
You're
Felicia,
recusing yourself?
Felicia is here, so that says all.
No, but we had a chairman before. And the tone and the tenor of the party, and I tell people all the time in the party, because we built this party like a ship already at sea, where we literally already at sea and we building with whatever float by. And when certain people come to the party and join the party, she was just a couple weeks into the party that she joined. I mean, she was at the opening, and then Madam take a vacation. I calling her, she's somewhere in the world, and I said, hey, we need you in this party. Yeah, I'll think about it and get back to you. What's that? And I run she down. Now she come and take over. Now she come and take over the people party.
No, good choice.
Without
good choice.
Felicia Hola as chairman, this party not here.
Yeah.
This party may not even have been here. We have been dashed against the rocks. It hasn't been smooth sailing. We faced storms. This little party, UNC send Manchurian candidates to detonate themselves in this party, and we survived that.
Yeah.
And it
So
couldn't
true.
have survived Felicia without you, and I'm telling you that.
Yeah,
And
Felicia,
so all
you
the people
went
who's
there.
asked me why Felicia have my unflinching support, I see what this woman does. So if you think,
She's proven herself. That's
but
the bottom line right
how
there.
could you go on Shamla little show and moan and grow?
Watch me.
Life so
If
hard.
I was not a part of any political party whatsoever, and as a normal citizen on the road, if out of everything that I've seen and heard, I would put my vote for Felicia Hola. I tell you.
Listen now.
I tell you.
So back to the launch.
Before you come to that,
No,
one day
but-
sit down in the
Gotta get
meeting.
Jackie.
One day sit down in the meeting in Progressive Empowerment Party. I watched this woman sit down in the front row, watching me straight in my face. She ain't giving nothing away. And then we had an opportunity for them to talk, and she asked a question. I listened to her eloquent voice. And that was the day I met Janice Lemon Creaky. And you know,
Chief Whip, boy.
no, but you know, but Tony, I'm telling you this from where I sat.
Yeah.
You know when the critical pieces arrive. In the first couple months, Janice and I talked. We tried to find all kind of things for Janice to do. And the day Janice became the PRO and head of the communications, that entire responsibility just was taken off of me. What Janice does as communications for this party allows us to build to a level that we are today. And I want to be able to, no matter what, acknowledge all the people who have done this.
But one thing I have to say where the Progressive Empowerment Party is concerned is that we have been fortunate enough to attract a lot of powerful women, a lot of strong women. And, you know, as a man, I feel proud. I feel really, really good because...
It's just weird because it's something that he almost treated like it was an insult. Strong
Him as
women
a
on his
donkey
team.
car
No,
driver.
let me tell
She
you,
shouldn't be a journalist or a talk show host. Him as a donkey car driver. She don't have two good questions in her head.
Well,
her brain there to keep her ears from fighting.
I would say maybe because of the choices that she personally has had
No, I vex.
in her life.
Tony, you
Really,
can't be
really,
a journalist.
really,
When I
really.
hear about people talking about, you see, yesterday somebody sent me a video about a hunter in Africa with his high-powered rifle, 100 meters from a lion sleeping, shoot the lion and kill a sleeping lion. Watching this lion that just gets shot, beat up to die. And the man who filmed the video congratulating him, I thinking, I would love the opportunity to pour boiling oil on you slowly so that you could beat up like that lion. We have people in this country, in this world, that are so disgusting. But I want to say this, in this party, there have been people who have come here that don't understand. The race is not for the swiftest, but for those who could hold the course. This is not a sprint. When we launch in 2017, people say, all I'm doing the next election is 2020, possibly. You can't just show up. You know how much of them waiting in the wings to show up when the
Yeah,
election
yeah.
bell ring, to link up.
Yeah, we reach.
To link up.
Look, we.
Kamala and she New Frankenstein partnership. Join up with all these alphabets and pretend that, and you know what killing them? They can't get traction anymore. Because the people are paying attention to the message of the Progressive Empowerment Party. They are getting hope. And this Saturday at 5 p.m. opposite Maritime Plaza on 10th Avenue, the Orange Army puts down roots in Barataria.
And I want to add to that, Philip. Janice, we have to go for break.
Yep, we gotta look for break.
When we come back, definitely.
We shall be right back on the break.
Licks this morning.
Leave all that and go now.
Boy.
I didn't bring no headphones there, so after your next break I will go.
Boy, you don't start on the damn population of calling the talk.
No, they want to call you now and cuss me. Let them call. I will go on you and
Just telling me that we have to get our
to do what? Talk us out.
put us on the playlist.
Just talk to him about that is part of the thing. He may not know. Just talk to him. What?
Our opinion and our duty to the population and country to expose the truth. However limited, takes no responsibility for the opinions of others.
After this we'll go.
What is diabetes?
There are 2 forms. Diabetes type 2
This is not a
high
fentanyl, this is madness.
Type 2 diabetes is a result of chloride. Type 2 diabetes is associated with being overweight, having high blood pressure, and a higher risk of heart disease.
Thanks for that.
Say hello to the people.
Okay, don't have to be that close.
What's your face? That's all close to there.
I'm seeing hello people. My no makeup.
Live long, stay strong with Omega
Trinidad,
Easter of
doing it
excitement.
for you.
Gone and win big. Get ready to break the code.
Good morning,
of the
Trinidad.
I'm gonna get a nice flower and I get it up in my face. And yeah, give me like a nice. I'm very
Yeah.
Look what you do. You ever see anything?
If they see up Tony knows so.
Well, yeah, that's
Oh my
thanks.
goodness.
You need help, you know, Trinidad. You need help.
Deep psychological help.
Now, this is the last one before we go back.
So if we do a calling, the people wouldn't be able to hear. because that thing is gone?
No, that wasn't clear.
Okay.
That was the plug it in Philips computer so you could play music.
Gotcha.
Because some of the music, like the Banjara,
The
I asked him to put in play. It's
the
like,
lady coming to bring the documents today.
So don't go through Trez, go through Amar directly and get the permission from him. Because Trez, anyway.
I just want to call you.
This is bring back memories.
Yeah,
I
boy.
tell all you back
Yeah,
in
boy.
times
Tell me,
party.
baby.
Oh, it's
Huh?
You know, back in time to me is
What?
Britney Spears, right? Like,
Listen now. I know there was a life to see Atlantis in Westmore. Remember when Atlantis in Westmore was the big thing? And they go in and you do the dance.
Atlantis as a
And the
club.
It was
Smurf.
a nice black club.
You ever did the Smurf, Janice?
Hey, look at
get away.
While we was off here, we talking about back in times party, and I was reminding them about days of going Atlantis and Westmore. Remember that?
Oh boy, back in the days.
Doing the Smurf.
After
Doing
that,
the
there was an
Smurf.
upper level.
There was upper level.
It became upper level, yeah, but Atlantis.
And there was one next door that was called Shimwa.
Actually, that started as when it opened, when the mall opened, that was Ship's Tavern. I think that was the name of it.
Include me and y'all talking about coconuts and Pier 1 and thing. That's what
Yeah,
I
I forget, she just showed up.
I
She's children of the
just show up,
90s.
yeah.
Children of the 90s. Children of the 90s.
Children of the 90s.
No, I grew up in recession. You know, I tell my son all the time, I said, "What's this is that joke recession?" I grew up in a recession where if you see a $20, but nah, Mr. Money, you know. I Mr. Money, you
It
know.
is culture shock when you leave a country that didn't have burglar proof on your house. Leave and come back and find the thing just shackled up. I mean, let me tell you, I was shocked. Philip, I didn't know what the heck was going on. I had to ask all my neighbors, what is going on?
Country
Yeah,
catch a
everybody
disease
bring
called
it through.
coronavirus.
There's something even worse. Because when I was in England and I took my TT dollars to the bank to say, well, okay, can I get some pounds? And the woman watched me and said,
So what's that?
You
No.
know, that's
You're lucky
something-
she didn't laugh in your face.
Hey,
It's so
girl,
It
They
What's
didn't,
your
they
laugh in
didn't,
your
they didn't,
face?
they didn't ask you, what is this?
I feel shame. Same thing. I went Barbados conducting business across there. I had run out of money, my actual, US currency, and I say, well, I had a
TT.
TT. Going in the bank, the woman watched me with a blank face. I said, where you going with this? Were you
Monopoly
ready?
money.
You could have shown up with Monopoly money.
But that is what the woman
You're
tell
lucky
me.
they ain't charge you for impersonating money.
You understand? It is that in itself is
was
just
the
to show, boy,
hardest.
where we are as a nation, Trinidad and Tobago. Our money is not worth anything. It's not accepted anywhere outside of the shores of Trinidad and Tobago, and that says a lot. It says a lot for the industrial giant that we've been for how many decades. For us being in the position, the wealth that we've had as a nation, boy.
I still have that song playing in my head. Hold me, baby. That's how I
Watch
feel.
me, watch it.
Hey,
It's
music
sun
of the
outside. It's sun outside. We're trying
The
to
one
do
is
right
in his
now,
Smurf
boy.
too?
Yeah?
Yes, in the Smurf. The music of the 80s.
That's literally a dance.
And he
Something
in
called
blue,
the
eh?
Smith.
The Smurf was a dance.
Papa Smurf.
You don't know the Smurf? I'll show you the Smurf when we're done.
Don't die, go grey.
Thank you.
Don't die, go grey.
All right, darling.
I think we would do very well if our next fundraiser is a back in times party. I
You-
think we
you-
would do
Yeah, but you
really
had a dress back in times too.
Not a problem.
You can't just show up to say you're boogieing.
That's
Watch
right.
me.
yeah.
You don't
Remember
be
when,
dressing
remember
no
when
back in
boogie was
time.
a real word and boogie, oogie, oogie? Watch me,
one?
I grew up. Let me tell you when I grew up. I grew up when my family had Saturday Night Fever. I was a little boy. And I just thought that was so exciting to get old enough to go to a discotheque.
So where you-
when I reach old enough, discotheque done. They had no discotheque. JV's closed down. Infinity closed down. They had a discotheque in Maraval where RBC is now used to be
Yeah.
called Infinity. When you walk on the dance floor, the floor changing colors. Say, what? I say, Philip, you are wrong since then. No, no, answer the question.
I wish the listeners could see the excitement on his face.
Like
like
a
he has
big
gone
baby.
back to the
Yeah,
12-year-old
yeah,
boy
yeah.
in class with Mr. What's his name?
Mr. Forbes.
Mr. Forbes.
Last time I was reminded of this little boy who, when he was 10 years old, his mother went to school with him. And he sat outside the principal's office. And his mother came out with a letter and she was crying. And they went home. And he didn't know what he did. So he behaved himself. Because he's 10 years old. His mother went to the principal, came out with a letter and crying. So later on in the day, the mother sat down with him and said to him, listen, the principal said, you are years ahead of all the other children. They can't teach you nothing. That you are too bright and that they've taught you everything that they could possibly teach you and that you're on your own. Make the best of it. And he went on to become one of the most prolific inventors in history. Holds more patents still than anybody else. He invented movie cameras, he invented the movie industry, he invented electric light bulb. You know what I'm talking about? He invented, that's Thomas Edison. Thomas Edison has more patents than anybody else. From that day, he became a scientist. And when his mother died and he was putting away her stuff, he found the letter. And when he read the letter, he broke down. Because the letter said, your child is incurably slow. We can't teach him anything. He is stupid. And you should find him a trade. He is destined to a life of mediocrity. We've taught him everything we could. The power of words on a life. You tell a child that, and that's what they are. His mother had the intelligence to tell him the opposite. To speak power into his life. And he manifested that power.
Yeah, very much. Very much.
People don't truly understand the power of words.
No, but Janice, being a leader in society, the reason I am so hard on Keith Rowley, and I call him a jackass, is because I want people to understand that's unacceptable. His behavior, shit kicker. He had one of his shit kickers, and he wanted Munilal to come outside so he could kick the shit out there. He's a prime minister. That's what little children hear it. Your little children had to hear your prime minister talking about women in society and referring to them as golf courses and saying you have to groom them or they turn to pasture. She could jump high, she could jump low, she could bark at me, she could what do this, she could do that, she could bark at my dog, I go ignore she cat. Does your prime minister listen? Children looking on. You see, there is the truest thing that you will ever read is children learn what they live. And if children see that as leadership, they will become that. It is why Gary buffed the crap out of CNC3 and him around soon. If you are bigging up criminals, terrorists, gunmen, because you could talk all the bullshit you want to talk on the TV. The children in the community know how they get them. I am a simple businessman, simply doing my business. A man called me and said, what business he simply doing? What's the business he simply doing? Ask him that question. He might dare not. He might dare not. She's a posturing, stunting clown. Her job is to bat her eyelids for the camera and fool people. But to the little children growing up in the community who know who is bandit and criminal, when you glorify bandit and criminal, you're killing yourself.
I see your pause there for a hot
What
second.
happened there?
No, he's batting his eyes at me. Is that what John Philip was saying? Batting his eyes.
Listen, I'm expecting a certain level of support in this.
Is this what happens in
Every
behind?
freaking day.
I need to be
You
here
ain't know
more
now.
often.
When we take a break for commercial.
Janice, I don't know if you're chief whip
Oh, they know the
anymore.
bacchanals going on.
Janice is supposed to be chief whip. You're having all this
Chief
practice.
whip.
When Chief will start to share licks, I go, I can't help nobody.
But we need to get back to a place where, you see, when you say that nursing is a sacred profession, when you hear real nurses talk about their interface with the world is body fluids that everybody else runs from. Nurse practitioners in the United States, they are practically doctors. They handle all of the triage, all of the accident and emergency. They are first responders. So it busts open, it shoot up, it chop up, it dismembered. Their job is to put it back together.
I like when you say as in the Progressive Empowerment Party's proposals, where the people you like to see having wealth and being rewarded in taking true responsibility for their portfolios as the doctors, teachers, and police. I like that.
Farmers.
And farmers,
Farmers.
correct. Yeah.
We want farmers
Yeah.
driving Range Rovers.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't want buyers and sellers and hucksters and peddlers fooling people and saying, I make these billions selling cloth in town. Miss me with
I
that
agree,
bullshit.
boy,
I want to see farmers.
Yeah.
I want to hear them say, that is the breadfruit king. Not the Coke Baron or Goodwood Park. I want to hear that man make his millions on Pump City and Papa.
You need to flip the pyramid.
Yeah.
These people need to be revered.
Really?
Our teachers, they need to be given
Really?
respect.
We've never had a
Trinidad
government.
and Tobago, all you hear that
We've
now,
never
man.
had a real government,
Listen,
Tony. We've
listen.
never had a real government. Eric Williams was a criminal, a crook, a racist.
That joker.
Eric Criminal Williams. Eric Williams is responsible for all that is wrong in Trinidad and Tobago. We're still suffering from what we were infected with. Now, people will tell me when they realize that I'm talking truth, when they could no longer fight it, they will tell me, yeah, but it was the Queen, and it was, yes, the bureaucracy of the empire enslaved us colored people. Because white people from Trinidad still go to America and get the shock of their life when they find out about all your real white.
That's right.
All your Trini white. In Trinidad, we have different shades of white too, you know.
That's true.
I remember when Glenn Davis and them had done a show in Queen's Hall and they say, black people vexed with Penta and Sissons. So they put out 5 shades of white and not one whispering black yet. You remember that? You could get bone white, apple white, ivory white, but black. You about 10 shades of black too. In this country, we get distracted and sidelined with nonsense. We tell ourselves that this is what you must aspire to without realizing. And you get to the end of your life and somebody told me, when you live and you die, they will say, Philip Edward Alexander, 1967 to dash something. And that dash is the entirety of your life. Between those 2 years is a dash. And what you do with that dash, you could be a conspicuous consumer. I could be rocked back in my Range Rover, liking myself, pips in Vilveny Gills. Trinidadian men think that is something to aspire to, you know.
Yeah, it's true.
Trinidadian men.
I have a couple of friends that we've actually had that discussion.
No, but daddy absent from the home. Daddy not and this licks is not for the poor man who outside there trying. So yes, seeing his children. But for the ones who don't have TV raising your children. Life is about, like they say, life is what happens when we're busy doing other things. When you're parenting, the day is long, but the years fly fast.
Oh,
Very
yes.
true. Very true.
The days
I used to wish for my
long.
son to
I
read
said,
my
tell him don't grow no
book.
more. That is it. That is it. Because I used to enjoy all the things that he was enjoying. Christmas, birthday. But I couldn't wait for the toys. Because me and he played.
Yeah, big baby.
One Christmas, Joshua got a remote control plane. Christmas Day, Joshua flew the plane away. It must be still circling Venezuela somewhere. Because he flew the plane away. Gone. All we had to show it after Christmas Day
Was the
was the remote. And he watched me and I watched him. But the obvious question he was asking his little mind was, does the plane come back? And I was asking the same thing too. Because I was thinking, they should have a range where if you reach, turn around now,
A
man.
receiver that make the plane turn.
Just send the plane on a mission, the plane gone. That's the last time I'm buying remote control. No, but again, parenting. We don't put things in place to recognize the importance of parenting. You see, we live in a country where hucksters, peddlers, retailers, and importers have ascribed to the upper echelons of society and they have no place there. I mean, have your success. But society is built on real professions.
Yeah.
You could be the greatest businessman in the country when your toilet clogged, you need a plumber. And it is only when you stare into the belly of the beast of a clogged toilet that you just use. And you know you need to address that. Because you're coming back home later to see that. You don't want to see a morning deposit in in the evening. Eh?
Yes,
You don't want to see a morning deposit waiting on you in the evening. So Plumber then is Mr. Plumber. It's like the joke we told about the guy who was choking to death. And everybody was trying and they couldn't rescue him. And a doctor walked into the place and saw him choking, grabbed him at Heimlich maneuver. And the man started to breathe. The man said, I am a wealthy man. Anything you want is yours. He said, just give me half of what you thought you would have give when you thought you was dying. When you thought you was dying, you would give anything.
Yeah, it's so true. So true. You
And
gotta tell him, take it all. Take it all.
And props to the man, Heimlich, I love that he was so sure of himself. He didn't call it a move, the Heimlich move, called it the maneuver. Eh? The arrogance you have to have, Tony, to say, I could clear your throat when you're choking. The Heimlich process. Eh? You had to laugh a little bit because if you just continue to pay attention to how wrong this country is, and this is what upsets the contract mafia, we put things in a language that the average person understand. You know, it's true that the nurse and the doctor is important, that the farmer and the teacher they're important.
Important, very,
Even
very.
the police officer.
Are important. Yes, that's right. That's right. And because we have treated our police officers the way that we've treated them for all the time that we've had them in existence, 57 years, why are they not?
We've disrespected them.
This is it.
We've relegated them to minority status. We've called them rogues and criminals. For a handful of rogues and
You're not
criminals.
paying them well. You're not
No,
giving
but
them
the politicians
proper benefits.
benefited from the rogues and the criminals in the police service. The politicians encouraged criminal behavior in the police service. There are governments who are responsible for gang violence and the proliferation of gangs in this country. There are members of parliament who know who bringing in the guns and where they pass it. When you tell an entire profession, all these rogues and criminals, how you expect them to behave?
True, true.
Now that Gary Griffith there, and I was telling a story earlier about Gary Griffith. When I went to see Gary Griffith, we had come up with a proposal called Literacy First. I didn't want money for it. I just wanted to fix Trinidad and Tobago. I was still an idealist then. And Gary read, because I knew Gary from St. Mary's College. So when I called, when he became Minister of National Security, I said, Gary, I have something to show you. He said, come. I went, no, sure. He had a deputy minister, Kunumumu. I don't know his name.
You don't know why I hear that?
He had some African name from Njak. He changed his name Kunumumu. And Kunumumu used to come and sit down and anything and fall asleep.
That's really his name?
No, but I will call him Kunumumu because I can't remember his name. It doesn't matter. I used to come and fall asleep. Gary put him in charge of that. Gary said, literacy first would make a difference. And Gary put Kunumumu in charge. He used to come and meet with Gary's Deputy Minister of National Security, Kunumumu. And he used to fall asleep. And it's sad because he's an Njak, he's a black man. He's supposed to want to deal because the numbers tell you the highest level of illiteracy in the country are the people of Morfa, Beta, Blaventel, and see a lot of people come from depressed communities and broken areas, what we call the at-risk. So he should want, because when you look and you see that you teach people to read, they say that when you build a library, you close a jail. Because you give people opportunity. Hope and opportunity are the two greatest drivers of civilization and humanity, The belief that we can do something. Barack Obama was elected to office on a slogan, Yes, we can. They didn't ask can what?
It's
Nobody
true.
asked. What exactly is the mission? They don't care. They just set on fire. We could.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes, we can.
Yes.
The full stop.
Yes,
Done
we-
it righty.
And Gary Griffith said to me, we're doing this. Literacy first. Let me tell you what literacy first is so you understand what got us all so excited. Literacy First was a program that said that if you came to the state for a URP or a CPEP, you had to do a literacy test. We were working with, and they have a girl who owns a school across from Maria's Bakery where we go. Shauna Huggins Rupchan, that used to be her place. And she was helping us. She and her team, they were helping us with all of our proposals and all of our plans and to put together everything, because there's actually a literacy plan where in 12 weeks you could be literate, where you could read your name, you could write your name, you could read a basic sentence. illiteracy is a big problem because it confines people and consigns them to a life of mediocrity. And literacy first was going to be a game changer. If you get arrested for anything, the magistrate and the judge would have had to ask you, can you read? If you say yes, get them something to read. If you can't read it, your first sentence is to literacy. You see, there are people who commit crime because they're illiterate. There are people who commit crime because when you send them into Pizza Boys to fill out a job application, you hand them the piece of paper, they're looking at nothing. Our first literacy, and I don't know who gave the information to Alta, or Atla, whatever the name is. Alta, because Alta used it in their ad. But this is what we did. And Shona and all of us were together when we put together the document. We were in a meeting, National Security, Gary Griffith, Kudumumu, and the Permanent Secretary, and the rest of them, everybody around the table. And we had 12 documents, nice, if you see, literacy first folders. And we reading as we go. I'm making the presentation. We have PowerPoint presentation. Turn to page 12. We had page 12 written in Japanese. So everybody look at their paper and look at the person next to them paper and look up and say exactly how you can understand what on that page is how the world looks to the illiterate. The whole world looks like that. That you don't know what the hell those squiggles on that piece of paper is. And the business community, instead of trying to work to help get people literate, they realize it's easier to teach them a symbol. That's why most brands, you ever hear anything brands? Brands is something they started in the 90s, where they realized that we could capture the illiterate, capture them by getting them to recognize a brand. You're not reading Levi's, you know. You're seeing the brand,
like
and you recognize it.
It's a tick.
Right, you recognize
Adidas,
it.
3 stripes.
You recognize that image. Yeah? And when Kunomumu failed to action literacy first, Gary called me for a meeting and we talk. And Gary explained to me that one of the biggest problems he was having was communicating with the public. And he asked if I would come and work with him to help with that. I said, of course, because we have an opportunity to advance literacy. Of course, within 14 months, Gary was out. And all the plans of doing so much, because there was so much that he wanted to do as Minister of National Security.
That went out the door with him.
That Kamala decided that if Gary wasn't prepared to toe party line and lie for members of her government, because that's why Gary was fired. And I'll never forgive them for that. I will never forgive them. I remember Rudal Munilal called me to a meeting and he said, we will make you the Minister of Communication. Just distance yourself from Gary Griffith. That was the week with Panorama. I went to the North Stand. People congratulated me. The Express ran a story about a cabinet shake-up and who was earmarked for Minister of Communication, Philip Edward Alexander. And I telling people this is nonsense. Gary show up in the Panorama vex. Because I was his communications advisor. Now, these people in politics, they just play a nasty game. They know how to divide and ruin. So Gary give me a cold shoulder. This is my boy, you know. I grew up with Gary, went to school together, but I am his communications advisor. So morning, noon, and night, I on the phone with Gary or I in meetings with Gary. And now Gary vex. So I have to say, what the hell going on here? I feel like a breakup. I said, what going on here? He said, so you take a post? I said, what post you talking about? You hear me say I take any post? And this is the kind of nonsense that you have to face with that UNC. They want you to throw your man, whoever you're dealing with, throw them under the bus. So I'm supposed to say to myself, all this love and attention, because watch me, in Trinidad and Tobago, they could vex with you. They could call you all kind of name. But you go and you hit a 501. What was the first number? He hit 375, Brian Lara. They used to cuss Lara. And then he hit 375. Oh God, the king! The greatest of all times. Next day he make a duck boy, they should throw that man off the side. They call Anya Ayongchi a porn star till she win Project Runway. Because anytime Trinidadians feel that they could somehow benefit from your advance, they love you bad, you know. Tony, when I tell her they could blow smoke up your hindquarters, you feel like you could float. So I get all kind of drinks, you know, I mean, but put away your wallet, the man, what the hell wrong with you? I get, they love me up and I take a full advantage. In that Panorama, Johnny Walker Black come na man, the bottle blue. I didn't know they had a difference. But when I suffer a long time. So when you give me Johnny Walker blow, I say it's slow. They tell me now, boy, drink the man, they have more where that come from. But I'm trying to show you that the decision right there and then, have this life. Be one of we. Fuad can't tell me, yes, one of we. I tell people, that is the nastiest statement anybody has ever made to me. To tell me that I could be considered one of them. Because I was there, up close. Every Monday, Gary would tell me, you could ask Gary for this. Gary would tell me, you're going to get me fired. Because I was tearing the cabinet apart for their wrongdoing. I working for that government through the Ministry of National Security. But I not beholding to nobody.
Right.
Jerry Hadid give me one set of talk because the government had to take down every billboard of Kamala Prasad Bisesa they put up. And I said, you are using public funds to deify the Prime Minister and misbehaving in public office.
Yeah.
Put the money back. Hema was happy to have me on the show to talk about that. I want to talk about Anil Roberts and live sport. Anil had to be fired. The minister, if you tell me the minister don't know, fire him. If you tell me the minister knew, fire him. Either way, you lost your work. Because you're responsible. You can't not know. Line minister job is to know.
Yeah.
That's right.
It can't be happening and you don't know. Franklin Khan today should be fired.
In
You're
that case, Franklin Khan should be gone.
and Imbert.
This is it.
And Imbert.
But
Imbert
then
is
we could go a little higher up the chain, Rowley.
Felicia, imagine you are working for Massey and you are running Hilo Westmall, Massey Westmall. And you decide, the hell with that, I sell in this branch. I sell in this branch. Tomorrow, the CEO, Derek Winford, driving on the road and pass Massey Westmall and see Joe's supermarket. Or Dan Raj, wholesalers.
Yes,
Masha
sir.
Bricks.
Yeah.
What going on? Walk in the store, everybody instead of being in a Massey uniform, have Dan Raj across the chest. And you'll find the manager, what's happening? And the cashier saying, boss, he sell the store. But you can't sell the store.
No, but it's real. No, but exactly. But that is what is happening.
Yeah.
That is what is
When
happening.
Espinay put out that request for proposal, he tried to steal the store.
Yeah.
And Franklin cannot say he didn't know, fire him for not knowing. Call Membert as Corporation Sole, the only shareholder of Petrotrin Oparia is Corporation Sole. The only one. If you don't know what is being done with the national assets on your watch, fire him.
Corporation Soul Falls
Minister of Finance.
Minister. of
So no
Finance.
matter what line ministry, the board, in fact, the board is appointed by Corporation Sole. So Petrotrin may fall under the Ministry of Energy, but the assets are owned by the minister, by Corporation Sole, which is overseen by the Minister of Finance. So all public assets, the Minister of Communication controls TSTTP Mobile, but the board is appointed by Corporation Sole. So you need to immediately fire two of these jackasses from the Jackass Farm, Franklin Khan and Coleman Burt. And you have to charge, listen to me, you have to charge Wilfred Espinay something like putting a national asset for sale. And then they say neither of the ministers knew that it was going for sale. Wilfred Espinay is now a rogue operative. He is no longer an agent of the state. Wilfred Espinay is a criminal walking. And the government has a responsibility to remove from office all of those engaged in this fiasco and a fiduciary responsibility to the shareholders, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, to ask that the fraud squad investigate Wilfred Espinay. That's where we at. That's where we at. This morning, Roger Gasper, the Director of Public Prosecution, supposed to be calling Gary Griffin and say, listen, we want an investigation.
We actually have a DPP. We actually have a person who's doing that.
The
But
people
there's
of
just so much cases out there that's supposed to be handled by that individual, and nothing is being done. So we really have somebody who can handle this.
Janice, at the end of the day, the position is a simple one. The people of Trinidad and Tobago are the employers of the government. Now we say that, but we say that, and the people, yeah. You say that like we understand it, but we understand it on a philosophical level.
Right.
I want people to understand it in their belly. I want them to understand it in their bank account. I want them to understand it in their pipe home. I want them to understand it in the fear they feel at night when they're trying to fall asleep and they don't know if their house safe, and they children outside liming and partying and you can't sleep till they come home, because you're living in a country where it is easier to dare than to win a lottery or a playway. I want Trinidadians to feel it there that the government works for them.
That's right.
When you hire a security guard from Amalgamated Security and put him in your yard to watch your gate, you don't go outside and say, "Good night, sir. Are you in the mood to secure my gate tonight?" Your work is to secure my gate. Talk to the Prime Minister so. Just so. His work, in truth and in fact, is to secure your gate. That's the Prime Minister's job. The Prime Minister's job, if you can't afford avocado, go to the Prime Minister. Say, how the ass I can't afford avocado in this country? Avocado grows wild. You don't need to water avocado. I grew up, I tell you where we grew up, we had a mango tree, a lime tree, avocado tree, and a breadfruit tree. Neighbor had soursop on there. And we used to share. Now everybody yard either concrete or growing frangipani. All of a sudden we get dotish and stupid. Like we going in Massy and buying 4 mango, a Julie mango tree, a avocado tree, a breadfruit tree. You don't water them thing, you know. Them things that survive drought and fire.
Sometimes even when you do buy the mangoes be rotten inside.
There's somebody whose job it is to turn the bong side down in the Styrotex thing and wrap it in plastic. You ever notice that?
Yeah.
When you buy apples in a high-low, you just never see the hole that the apple have through the plastic.
Right.
But when you buy it and you go home,
Yeah.
now you pay $30 for 6 apples. You pay $5 an apple and 1 rotten. You throw that one away. You just, the price of the other 5 just went up by $1.
That's right. That's right. Or even green peppers. I bought two green peppers in a container. And when I reached home, the guy who was preparing the salad said, "But Janice, look at this. Half the green pepper is gone."
Disgusting.
And he ended up having it straight away.
Disgusting. And you know what?
It's
We
going
need
down the drain.
no, but you see, you need to be able to go to the Prime Minister and ask him, because all of a sudden I see Guardian running stories about breadfruit and I laughing. I say, you know what? Don't take it personally. As long as the information getting out, it will change the society. But none of them was talking breadfruit before the PEP said we will plant 1 million trees. Because a breadfruit diet will reduce the cost of living in Trinidad and Tobago, lower the cost of healthcare, low glycemic starch. When you taste curry breadfruit, you will never eat curry English potato again. Curry English potato don't really have a taste, you know. It's just something to fill your belly. But curry breadfruit have a sweet taste to it. And it is a low glycemic starch, which means unlike potato and rice and flour, it don't spike your sugar. That is things people think that they don't have a responsibility to know. But after you get to be a certain age, you realize you need to take care of this body, because at some point, it will give out.
That's right.
And you're going to end up in a hospital bed. And all them nurses we talk about that beating up people, one of them come to beat you.
All you have to do is to go into St. James Center and see the elderly lying in their bed.
If you're willing to accept it, practice. Go home and pee on your mattress and sleep on it, because that's what you're going to have to do.
Very, very sad.
It's like the
Sad,
tree,
sad.
the rings in a tree. When you cut down a tree, they say you could look at all the rings and tell the age of the tree. If you take the sheet off the mattress in the hospital, you could count the rings of this. And you could know how long this bed was in use.
That's right.
It's nasty, eh? Stinking dirty. That's our reality. $5 billion. $5 billion. $5,000 million. $5 billion is spent on public health alone every year. $5 billion. That means in the last 10 years, we spent $50 billion. That means in the last 20 years, under Manning Pandey, Kamala Rowley, we spent $100 billion on public health. What do we have to show for it? $100,000 million. $100,000 million. $1 million could build 10 starter homes. $100,000 million. $1 billion is 1,000 million. $1 billion is 10,000 houses. $100 billion. What is 10,000 by 100? That's a trillion. Look at the kind of numbers we're talking about in the country. Look at what we're talking about. Building houses. Society in countries where home ownership is the most important pillar of government, public health, drug use, and crime are all low. All low. So we know this. These government ministers, they have degrees. The parliament have more degrees than a thermometer. But between the 41 of them, they can't arrive at one solution that benefits the people. We do this every day. It's an embarrassment that we could say to the government, to the parliament, the cabinet, not one thing works in Trinidad and Tobago. Nothing.
That's right.
The fire officer,
Except the wrecker.
Stuart Young raking the chief fire officer over the coals. Oh, he should have come to me before he went to the media. Stuart Young is a bullshit artist. For decades, the fire service is talking about Philip. You see all them fancy things that is having the parade? That is just for the parade. We suffering. Man outside there, out in fire with hole in their boots. But you have a boots allowance. So if your boots get damaged while you're on the fire, or people walk, go and buy yourself a new boots. That is the madness. They pull up there, the pump are working, they have the saw, but they don't have gas. All of this, you know. All of this. So when Stuart Young could tell the chief fire officer, you should have come to me first, Stuart Young should fire himself. Because Stuart Young was supposed to go to him. Stop being a prima donna. You're the Minister of National Security. Call a meeting of your people regularly. Mr. Chief Fire Officer, what can I do for you? Mr. Head of the Army, Major General, Chief of Defense Staff, what can I do for you? How can I make your life easier, your job easier, so that you could hit all your targets? What do you need? Mr. Commander of the Coast Guard, what do you need to stop the flow of drugs? We live in a bullshitocracy. We have people at every level fooling the nation. The Minister of National Security is a clown.
No, but Philip, you make a real good point there because we saw over the carnival holiday Stuart Young stunting with Gary Griffith, and you just called some other very important arms of national security. Where's he in terms of fire service and meeting the needs of the fire service? Where's he in terms of the Army and the Coast Guard? The Coast Guard, which is languishing 100 and how much 20 points of entry in this country. Where is he in discussing and dealing with these people who are overseeing matters of critical importance in this country?
When people say Stuart Young name, they spit. He know he is hated. He walking in town. People was embarrassing him. He waving at people and people shouting, nobody ain't waving at you, Stuarty. Nobody interested in you. You're coming to ride Gary Griffith coattails. I take a picture and I send it for Gary. I said, this man have no shame. Nobody like him. You can't go out there and wave at people like you somehow responsible for the work that Gary Griffith doing. And that is what the rest of them trying to do. The PNM do one thing right, appoint a proper minister, a proper commissioner of police.
Yeah, but even that was a mess.
The Kamla Prasad Bisessa that calling on the Commissioner of Police to investigate Faris Al-Rawi, that is the Kamla Prasad Bisessa that fired a man for his integrity. Kamla, miss me with your bullshit. We have to start to be honest in Trinidad and Tobago. Start to be honest. When you have a matter before the courts, where the Attorney General and the Police Complaints Authority, those high officers were pulled into disrepute. And we okay with that? We have people in this country who are capable of the highest level of performance, of doing things to elevate the circumstances for all the people. You got to put them in position now. Again, I want to raise the names of people like Atto Bolden. How could you have a jackass running the Ministry of Sport when you have Atto lighting people's names on fire with world records? Atto is making this girl Brianna a global brand. When she already dropped yet, you know. She already dropped yet. She's at a place now where she win the race. She win the race, you know. But she vexed about her time. She was hoping to do a better. She win. She so far ahead of the other people. It's like she won't run that race by herself. And she and Atto having a public conversation about her time. And Atto say she is maturing as a sprinter when she could show that level of introspection into her own performance despite winning. And we don't even know who doing what in our sports in Trinidad and Tobago. We spend $1 billion building cycle track and pool and stadium for nothing. We have 5 national stadiums in this country that closed on the weekend. You trying to tell me we can have a football league in Trinidad and Tobago? Inter Milan and AC Milan, 2 of the biggest brands in the world, share one stadium in Italy. You trying to tell me we can't have a football league? You have 5 stadiums, that's 10 football clubs, at least. You trying to tell me that you can't pass there and see the stadium open and people training every single day? You're wasting with time and you're wasting with money. And we keep making a mess of this country by allowing these jackasses to continue. Take a break, Janice.
Leave them there with that boy.
I'll leave you with this. Yeah? You do your calls from now, right?
Well, yeah.
Hey, Janice, you open the phone now. I see the phone's ringing.
Huh?
You doing calls today?
Yeah, of course.
You have a headphones to lend Felicia? I go in. So how you would hear? Go and ask Chaz if you have headphones that lend. Janice, you brought my keys?
No meeting after this?
Yeah. You want to meet? These are 3 keys. It's the same key. So you have to do one of each.
There's 2 keys.
Right? How much you have on that? You have 3 there too?
Take up one and give.
Right, so 1 each, right?
This key is
Oh,
for
yes. 1 each. Right. 1 for you.
This is for where?
This one there.
Here? 2 keys? Is it coming?
Oh, my. Sorry.
In case when you come, it please.
So the front and for the door to come into the
Alright. More keys to add to this.
He give you headphones?
Disclaimer. More FM Limited, its owners and associates accepts no responsibility for statements made by the talk show host or their guests. More FM Limited does not endorse any of the information.
Yeah, but I need to drop my car to service.
Promotion book segment as the fruit
Talk about that other than the same thing.
Put that on and listen.
in this time of misinformation, government-controlled media, and corruption,
Yeah.
it is sometimes hard to get the truth, but we must try. It is not our intention to discriminate or annoy anyone. We believe it is our constitutional right to free speech, to voice our
You only
opinion,
had one?
and our duty to the population and
Well,
country.
if I could take a couple of calls, if you all want it, you all want to handle it. You could.
Takes no responsibility for the opinions of others.
Where are we going? Out them out.
This season of men's getting more options.
We are going to be taking your calls at the top of the hour. Write it down, make a note, get ready. 628-9595, 628-3131. We're bringing it to that point where you get to have your say. A lot of this show is you talking your talk. The Progressive Empowerment Party is the only political party that has a meeting every single Saturday that features an open mic for you to come and question and ask and add your voice to the conversation. Tony, that's a pillar of democracy, free speech.
Yes, it is.
Free speech, it is time to enshrine a people's Bill of Rights that includes free speech. Free speech. 628, Janice.
628-9595, 628-3131.
If you want to have your say, you could give me a little call.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, Gola. Morning. How are you going today?
Don't cut him off. Don't cut him off. Alright, so wait, I want the listeners to hear when he asked us to not cut him off so he could read his UNC bought and paid for, because they send them these texts to read. So we have to sit here and listen to him read that diatribe. Why would he need to make that call?
Correct.
628-9595, 628-3131. Hello, good morning.
Morning, morning.
Talk fast. Best. Take your time and talk. Slow down. Best show. Tell me. Ring and finger. Hand and glove. You know the serious problem you have? The serious problem you have is with real leaders who you know going and come and mash up that PNM and UNC. Not what you do is how you do it. It's 56 years you're taking jam and all of a sudden you have a real political vehicle. You know it's not what you do, is how you do it. Well then stand up for a better country. What do you want then? If you don't want it, how are you doing it? Come and meet me in person and you'll see why I vex. Come and meet me in person. Partner, I don't have the problems that you have this morning, and I'm fighting for you. Or bright people is also the problem. I want to answer a question though. You just listen when I'm talking? No, but just listen when I talk. I just ask you, just listen when I'm talking. Are you learning stuff? Are you learning new stuff? I don't expect everybody to love me. Jesus Christ, Martin Luther King, Gandhi, even Mandela had his haters. I don't expect everybody to love me. But I just want to know, are you learning stuff when you listen to me? Sometimes. And how much do I charge you for that service? Hate for what? What you're hating? What am I making you hate? Come to the meeting on this Saturday. Come in, I go hug you up. I go rub your ears in Barataria. You need politicians to rub your ears.
Avenue Barataria, between 6th and 7th Street.
He said he don't want his ears rubbed. It's Trinidad and Tobago. The pestle never empty. But Kola, you can't say, but you can't say you feel and then ask for Super Gary to make an investigation. Come on, man. You're setting people up to fail. But you're setting people up to fail. I want to ask you a question. I want to ask you a question. All right, Gary, here. Gary just listen to the show now. I want to ask you a question. Yeah, he's listening to the show, Super Gary. I want to ask you a question. Do you want a better Trinidad and Tobago? Could you come and meet with me this Saturday? Asking you a question. Let me talk to you now. Could you come and meet with me this Saturday in Barataria? Let you and me talk and find a way forward. I pay in your passage. How far you coming from? Don't tell me Tobago, eh? That Tony will pick you up. Tony number 6884012. Oh, because there's all you're calling Tony and asking Tony to help Ole with this and help Ole with that. So leave a message now, man, or send a WhatsApp. I didn't say you and call. I want you, I telling you, if you call Tony and he don't pick you up and bring you, come and I will pay your passage. I, Philip Edward Alexander, say that. What's your name? Give me your first name. No, it's not that. I just realized if you say your first name is Tony, about 20 Tony will come there looking for passage. Looking forward to meeting you. But now, I'm telling you, but if two of us agree on everything, one of us will be unnecessary. That is how life is. Husband and wife, just fight, you know. Don't get vexed. Come and meet with me. Sweet, eh? It's sweet, bro. You're like chip in sugar cake season. What's no, man? Look, but you know, everybody, come Saturday. Looking to see you.
This Saturday.
It's
Okay?
important you come, man. It's important you come.
And we have an open mic. That's something I wanted to say to what he call it.
Yeah, he go come and good. He go
We
talk.
have an open mic.
He wanna talk about I
No other
talking, but he
political
want to
party
talk.
has this. Come, voice your concerns.
Boy, I want to hear you on that
I
mic. I know all your manage on
I am
phone.
telling you, you're gonna leave here best friends with Philip.
Is that my boy? I tell you, that my boy. Yeah, my boy. come and meet with me on Saturday. You sung like a man. Yeah, but I never had any public office. That's what recycle politician mean, my friend. You join party, you recycle. All of we was in something before. I was never in public office, but I want to say something to you though. You sound like somebody who have passion and love for country, and that's all it takes for you to come and meet the PEP. You go end up in this party in the front line speaking for us. What chance?
Yeah, I get that.
Looking to meet you. Looking to meet you on Saturday, brother. Come and talk to me direct. I could answer you. Caller, could I? Caller, could I? Caller, could I answer you? Caller, could I answer you? All right. You say the same thing 10 times. Pause for a second. Just, no. You can't do that. You can't do that. Pause for a second. I want to answer you. You still there? When Rowley, I was in the parliament when Rowley announced Gary as commissioner. And I am the only one who was asking publicly what you asking. In fact, Gary get vexed with me again. Gary's a fella, you're very emotional. He get vexed with me. And he get vexed with me for that. I said, Rowley, you cannot appoint Gary as commissioner of police until you apologize for calling Gary a conspirator to murder. So I agree with you. But you cannot call the man a stooge. Just now wait, I'll listen to you. You listen to me? You can't call the man a stooge because in this country, the pathway to power, sometimes you have to go to hell for him and the cause. And I recognize that Gary Griffith have one job he wants to do, and that is to clean up the crime in Trinidad and Tobago. And sometimes you have to lie down with all them dogs and all them fleas. But judge the man by what he is trying to do. You're right, but you're also wrong. And that is the problem with this country. It's hard to tell if it's night and day sometimes. All kind of thing. You say the man bugged the DPP office. You say he want to kill Denise Red. I agree with you. Rowley stink and dirty. Rowley have two tongues in his head. When Rowley dead and he go to hell, even Satan going and stoops. You're right. You're right. We have a meeting this Saturday in Baratari. I hope to see you there, my friend. Take care. 628-9595, 628-3131.
Morning, caller.
Good, come into this call here. Nah, you see that earlier. Good, I get through. Good morning, caller. Don't hang up, eh? Don't hang up. You still there? You still there? All you vex the man is a sniper. All you vex is a studley. All you vex the man, you know you in the same position, you're doing the same thing. How much girlfriend you had in your life? I agree with you. And Gary, Super Gary is the man who bring in the body cams. Super cockroach. You go hear that thing to say, but watch me. All you go love him. Watch and see. He bring in the body cams too. Even... Why you think I'm saying that? I think I'm getting paid to say it. I know the man. I know what he's trying to do. There's a dirty, broken country. Oh God, you're toting ants, man. Use the kind of player in Rome. He does bounce cat to throw it back. Listen, we're talking true talk here. The best commissioner of police we have ever had is Gary Griffith. Yes or no? Who was better? Williams, Philbert, Burroughs, Gibbs? Who was better? Oh God, like you never make no mistake in your life. You're married? Caller, you have a wife? But you have... No. He have all Gary files. But your wife listening.
I love you, my caller. I love you too, man.
I feel the wife listening, and the wife listening and say, don't pull me in your stupidness. Caller. Alright, caller. Alright. Don't be so vexed. Don't be so vexed. There are plenty more things to be vexed for. Have a good day, my friend. 628-9595, 628-3131. Have your say. Talk your talk.
I love that one. Morning.
Turn on your radio, caller. Turn on your
Morning,
radio.
caller.
Turn on your radio. Turn on your Yeah, wait. We just pay for this airtime partner. You gotta contribute some money.
Yeah, a little 500.
Yeah, good. Then talk your talk. Talk your talk. Spanish from Peter, man.
Spanish.
Let me hear you.
Talk to me.
All right, but Spanish, I want to. All right, Spanish. All right, but just now. No, you gotta wait. I gotta say something to you because. No, don't go nowhere. But I want to say something to you. Listen to me. You there?
Hello, caller.
You see, and I wanted to say this to him, to everybody else, I say the same thing. And I hope you're listening, partner. This is a free opportunity for you to talk your talk, but we cannot create an environment where people could smear names and reputations. I don't want them to smear yours, you don't smear theirs, and then we have a conversation. And we stand for the rule of law. No, we do not stand for rogue policing, but we want a better country for everybody. So everybody who want a better country for everybody, this is your show. Talk your talk. 628-9595, 628-3131.
Good morning.
Welcome to the call. How you cut off? Spanish, don't give me no endorsement. Don't endorse me on the radio. I want them to say, boy, oh God, listen, don't endorse me this morning. They have a lot of wrong in this country. They have a lot of wrong. And I want to tell you this, and I want to tell you, no. Spanish, I'll tell you how it's going to be done, eh? We need to vote for a real government for a change. People who are willing to fix everything. People who are willing to fix everything when we top down. And I know you're listening to this show because you know we're talking sense. You don't have time to waste. So I'm telling you this. All right. So I want to say this there, right? Man to man, I'm saying this there. If you're willing to do your part to help us be a better country, and that includes everything from law abiding and living well, then all of us on the same page. But I cannot, from the same way I cannot, the last caller who called to talk about Rowley and how Rowley called Gary a murderer. I mean, this is the country that we're living in. We need to get to a better Trinidad and Tobago. And everybody who willing to do their part to make this a better country, the Progressive Empowerment Party embraces that. Yeah? Now, you never hear nobody talk like me before. You never hear nobody talk like me before. And that's what they're doing. Because you see, that sounds like something that have to happen because Trinidad know, up, down and sideways, we stand for everything right and proper. So listen, you have information to share? I'm very interested in hearing it. Okay? So we will talk off here, brother. Stay safe. 628-9595, 628-3131. Yeah? Now all we need is somebody from the 1% to call in and tell us their problems too. Because you see, the country is so mismanaged. Nobody happy. Nobody happy. When Ada Aboud Polonais and Lindsay Gillett have to conspire to find ways to shut their whole community down with a gate, nobody happy. Nobody happy in this country.
Good morning.
But we go deal with that. We go deal with that. 628-9595, 628-3131.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, caller.
I wanna ask you, you just listen before you talk or you just talk? But when I ask a question, I say let them call too. You want to know what's going on in the country, let everybody talk. It is time to bring everything out in the open. This is a Hamer show. This is a show where everybody is feel free to call and talk. Let me know. Stop buffing me now, man. Stop buffing me now. You want to come and put a little $20 in the collection plate to help us build the party. You better take a next call. You don't get your share. Okay, but here what I'm doing. Here what I ask you to do. Let me give everybody a chance to call in too now. Yeah? I waited on you. Saturday at 5 o'clock, Barataria. 628-9595, 628-3131.
Morning, caller.
Morning, caller.
Good morning.
How are you going, sir?
Economic hitmen. Caller, we have a meeting this Saturday at 5 o'clock, 10th Avenue, Barataria. Come down now. Come and add your voice. 5, starting at 5 and going till about 7, 8 o'clock. It depends on how long the crowd want to stay online. The actual event is 5 to 7. So if you could come and be a part of that, we have an open mic and you could actually have the conversation and meet us and see how you could get involved. Come down.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah?
Bring it on.
This Saturday, right? 5 o'clock. I not only for real, we politically sexy. Come down this Saturday at 5. Hey, don't worry, no man. Don't worry, only hear me talk and all you know that we're ready for everything. We have the plan to fix Trinidad and Tobago. Alright?
Good morning.
Morning, caller.
My mother called where? She said?
It was not
Right.
called.
Just leave it right here. Just leave it right here. Leave it right here. The sycophants come
Hello,
out.
good morning.
Morning, caller.
Good
How
morning.
you doing,
Good
sir?
morning.
Me. Vote me into the parliament and watch races to Piaco. Me. You want a better country, you're hearing me every day, every night, you're hearing me. We talking it, we saying, we exposing everything. You want it? Stand up for it. We meeting this Saturday, 5 o'clock, Barataria. Come out. We will work together. Yes or no? Well, all right, so come.
Nice.
Because if not us, who? Who you gonna put? But nah. No. What? No. You see, you see, you're right and you're wrong. I tell you why. The tone of a society is set from on top, and if the government stink and dirty, the people will live stink and dirty. But if we set an example, they've had no choice. Every time it was a flip of a coin, lesser evil, change, exchange, nonsense. That done. The Progressive Empowerment Party is here. Let's work to fix Trinidad and Tobago. See you on Saturday. 628-9595, 628-3131. That dial tone brought to you by.
Morning, caller. Good
Turn on your radio caller. You will hear yourself through the phone. Trust me, they're hearing me. Trust me, they're hearing
Yeah,
me.
they hear it loud and clear.
Right now, while I on the radio, they have at least 5 law firms that they have this show playing loud and people taking notes. They're hearing me and they know I come in. I agree with you 100%, but I want to tell you something. They have a line, they have a section of the poem If by Rudyard Kipling, and it says if you could walk with kings and not lose your virtue and walk with the common man, not lose the common touch. And I want to be able to speak in a language that everybody could understand. And sometimes it may come across as aggressive and strong, but all of us should be vexed in this country for what we wake up in today. You don't agree? This Saturday, 5 o'clock, come and meet with us in Barataria. 628-9595, 628-3131.
Morning, caller. How you going there?
Wait, leave her. Caller? Hello?
You going?
Leave them. Let them talk.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, caller.
Morning.
Under 60. Caller, where you calling from in Trinidad? Sangre Grande. I supposed to be coming Sangre Grande Thursday.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow I'm supposed to be coming on Sangre Grande, but I didn't know if we have a meeting organized. We passing through Sangre Grande tomorrow to deal with something for somebody who called. But I was just hoping, I don't know if you have the transport or stuff to come up and meet with us on Saturday. We're having a public meeting in Barataria. I don't know if you want to come up and... I agree with you. Have a good day, my friend. Thanks for calling us. 628-9595, 628-3131.
No more dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Jackassness. Jackassness. Sorry. I apologize. If you take a day off to come and get an appointment, if you had to hire a car, you had to spend that money twice, caller. I apologize that we have a jackass farm for our government. Caller. Karma is a funny thing though. He go end up in a bed somewhere at some point. He go feel it. Karma real. Come now, man.
Very
Yeah,
good.
come
Very
now, man.
good.
Come
Very
now.
good
call,
question.
Good question.
Those
Where you
are the kind of
calling?
questions
Where you
some people
calling from in
ask you.
Trinidad, caller? Come down to Barataria. On Saturday, right? All right. Good.
Nice.
Bring some rock cake and Mobby when you're coming. 62895.
Morning. How you going?
Yeah, listen there. I want that. Thank you. From your lips to God's ear. I want that to be I want them to put that on my tombstone. They're not hearing it on my life. No. I know what you speak. You. Caller, I wanna answer that question because people outside listening to you and they want to know what is the Progressive Empowerment Party plan to deal with that. Can I answer you here or you want to listen? Where in Trinidad? That's a funny one. Where in Trinidad are you? You know this Saturday at 5 o'clock we in Barataria. I would like to invite you. 10th Avenue in Barataria opposite Maritime Plaza. You'll see our orange banners and flags. I'd like to invite you to come and join us and I would like to meet you. We're there from 5 p.m. But you see, you have some information that I would like to get and I would like to meet you in person so that we could talk. Exactly. 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 Populous nonsense. Fool the people. Fool the people. She thinks she gonna try that again. Fool the people. Caller, I hope to meet you in person. You have some information in history, the politics I need to get. I hope you could join us 5 p.m. in Barataria on Saturday opposite Maritime Plaza. We go organize the worry, man. Plenty people in that car. Stay safe, opposite Maritime. Look for the orange flags and banners, PEP. Stay safe, my friend. But he asked a question and I want to answer you, so listen to me when you hang up the phone, right? The progress... Thank you very much for that, my friend. Thank you, man. Before you answer the next call, Janice, I want people to know that you will hear this here first. You will not hear this from any other party. And if any other party propose this, they thief it from the Progressive Empowerment Party, and it is this. The Progressive Empowerment Party plans to convene from its first month in office something called the Activist Council. We want to get all of the activists in Trinidad and Tobago, women's rights activists, children's rights activists, environment activists. I see Joel D'Souza fighting for the animals, animal rights activists, fishermen, friends of the sea, elders activists, children activists. We want all the activists. We're forming them in a council called the Activist Council. And every month we're going to have lunch with the entire board of the Activist Council. And every one of them will have an opportunity to stand up and read to the Prime Minister what that activist organization thinks is the most important issues affecting the environment, animals, children, the adults, the elders. So we will constantly have our fingers on the pulse and make sure that we can address the needs of the people every single day.
Nice.
Good morning, caller.
Morning, caller. How are you going, sir? How are you going?
You want me to answer you on the phone or he gone?
Yeah.
Okay, so we live in a plural society and we have to respect the tenets of all religions. Here, every creed and race find an equal place. However, we also live in a dangerous society, and I understand that they have rules for burqas and the things that people wear for the Catholics have something like that too, nuns that are, and they have cloistered nuns, and they have nuns who have to wear the habit. So Muslims and Christians have a similar thing. And what I would suggest is, and I think that all the religious leaders should agree to work with the government and say, while you're mandating what people wear, you shouldn't obscure people's faces, because we live in a dangerous country. And we have a law that says you can't wear a mask, and I'm not equating the hijab to masks, but you shouldn't be in public obscuring your face, because we unfortunately live in a, Felicia, understand what I'm trying to say? We gotta find a compromise, because until we could get Trinidad completely safe and everybody free to do whatever they want, in the meantime, they're going to have people with nefarious agendas using the hijab to their advantage and not what it was set out for, to do other people wrong. So we need to meet with the religious leaders, because I do know that religious garb is a choice. Yes. That you can ascribe to the strongest, highest tenets of your religion. But we must also be mindful of the needs of the greater society. Yeah? 628-9595, 628-3131. Feel free to call in. We're addressing a certain issue here. 628-9595, 628-3131. Call in and have your say, talk your talk. Tony, press any one of those buttons there. Hello, good morning.
Morning.
Yes, good morning. You must be tired hearing me talk. Yeah, the journey now start indeed. Indeed. Waste with time. Waste with money, waste with resources, frustrate the people, make enemies of people. They made a mess of the country. I agree with you.
Under no circumstance.
Where you calling from in Trinidad, my friend? Well, right. So they go. So this meeting that we having on Saturday in Barataria is also you're gonna meet your caretakers from Diego Martin. So come and join us Saturday at 5 o'clock at opposite the Maritime Plaza on 10th Avenue. Thanks for your unflinching support. We need
like
people
that.
like you in the conversation. Thank you very much, my friend. Looking forward to meet you. Looking forward to meet you Saturday 5 o'clock. So when you come, put your hand in my hand and tell me I is the man who called. Yeah.
Morning, caller.
Good morning. Nice. Nasty, stinking, mash it up. Thank you, my friend. 628-9595, 628-3131.
Morning, caller. How you going, sir?
Morning.
By Bagauti trace there? And what's the condition? What the effluents, you say? The point are going to go. But give me prop. Alright, but give me a proper direction. Give me a proper direction so I could go and see and right? Right? Yeah. I will go and look for it. Thanks a lot, Colin. I'm going to go and take a look at it. I hope you're coming Saturday, 5 o'clock. Barataria. Alright, see you then. 628-9595, 628-3131. Call and have your say.
Morning, caller. How you going?
Morning.
No, well, I want to tell you, caller, that there are laws in Trinidad and Tobago, but they've just never had a government willing to sit down and address the issues. And for the first time, the people bringing these caller who called before, we need to be mindful of the actual, genuine religious people, and we have to find a compromise because we live in a country where not everything you see is what it is. Have a good day, my friend. Thanks for calling. You know we're meeting this Saturday. I hope we see you there. Yeah. Okay. Bye-bye. 628-9595, 628-3131.
Morning, caller. How you going?
How the hijab become the issue of the day? Well, that's another jurisdiction, as you said, so I can't have a conversation about what they did, but we spoke earlier about this, and we need to speak respectful to the fact that it is somebody's religion, and that I said to people also, nuns in the Christian Catholic faith wear something like a hijab, they call it a habit, but the obscuring of the face, while Trinidad continues to be such a wild and criminal place, I don't think we should be encouraging the obscuring of the face in public, and it is something that everybody gonna have to come to terms with. And what I mean by that is the needs of the many have to outweigh the needs of the few. We need to compromise, yeah? Have a great day, my friend. Thanks for calling. 628-9595, 628-3131. And while we have a little lull in the call, surprisingly, Felicia, let's talk about what's happened. Good mouth, yeah, take it.
Morning, caller. How you doing?
Mm-hmm. You heard me? Are you hearing me? You're so
That sounds so
sweet.
nice.
Yeah, I know. I can't get accustomed to it. Thanks a lot, my friend. How are you? Come and meet me and us this Saturday in Barataria, 10th Avenue. We're there from 5 o'clock. Nah. If we reach this point, and if you're at the start partner, it was real boy in this guy, you know. It was dry bread, boy, but we get to hear. The party have a movement. They know UNC had to put out a release today. People stop sharing our videos in their groups because
And you know, so funny, a UNC person sent us a screenshot of what this.
call our listener. I hope I see you Saturday, right? Thank you, my friend. And as we, okay, we will take one or two last calls, Tony, so Felicia could start to talk about Pep Market and what's happening Saturday, right?
Morning, caller.
Yes, hello. You hear me now? You're not phrasing it correctly. I'm saying that our message is for the people who have no interest in either of them. Yeah. I absolutely do. But you understand that we have a summary offense in Trinidad and Tobago that not even at carnival time you're allowed to wear a mask out in public. You know, a police officer could stop and ask you to show your face. And No, I'm not talking about hijabs and carnival. I'm just saying across the board, there is a no obscure your face law. It is similar to you can't tint your car to the point where law enforcement can't see inside your car, because at the end of the day, you know and I know, the sisters and you and me and all of us, we in danger. We live in a country where people who may not be Muslim. I want to ask a question. But I want to ask a question. I respect, No, but I respect your position, but I want to ask you a question. You still there? Still there? Gone. Okay, but what about people who are not Muslim who just trying to use the hijab to commit crime? There are people who will do any and all of that. Yeah?
Morning, caller. How are you going, sir?
Hi, good morning.
Where are you calling from? Pune.
Talk cheap. You know what I worth an hour? I sit down here for 3 hours talking. Who paying that? Talk not cheap, talk expensive. Anyway, just joking. Continue. Alright, caller, I need to stop you for 1 second because you're sounding vexed with a lot of things. Alright? Okay, and I understand you're being vexed with a lot of things, but I want to encapsulate it for you into one response. What you're vexed with is the lack of proper representation by government. All those things that you talk about comes down to that. And yes, there have been smooth talkers and sweet talkers all through history, but there have also been some damn scandals and scoundrels. Philip Alexander. I too am a student. I too am a student of history. Absolutely. Let me tell you something. You vote me in office, that vote remains yours for the duration of the time that I am in office. I am accountable to you. You understand that? Every Prime Minister as well. Keith Rowley today is accountable to you. Disgusting. Who is held to account? But exactly, who is signing off? The Chancellor of the Exchequer, the Minister of Finance. Correct. But tell me this thing, now, man. Tell me this thing. Exactly, so tell me this thing. How are we tolerating this? Absolutely. Have a great day, my friend. Hope to see you Saturday at 5 o'clock. All right, so I think we will take this one call as a last call. Let's keep it short, sweet, and sexy. I hope it's a good call for the last call. Wait. You interrupt talking to me on the radio to take a call? Okay, I want to say this to you. Every issue is separate and apart. The hijab have nothing to do with the honey, with the flowers and the oils. But every issue is an issue, and all of the people need to come together and work together in a spirit of compromise. We are a plural society. We are a plural society where every creed and race deserves an equal place. People call and raise the issue of the hijab as obscuring the view of your face. That is something that has to be discussed at the level of national security and with the religious leaders, because we're supposed to all want a better country. They have no other way to say it. The spirit of compromise is important. Yeah? So, he was a callback. They go.
Yeah. Morning caller.
Felipe.
How you going, man?
We in Baratari, and then 6 weeks we in Arima. We opposite Baratari, opposite Maritime Plaza. Once you come down the bus route, yeah, we about 2 blocks from the bus route. I think so.
Yeah, you're good.
It's still Solo Harmonites.
Yeah, as you get to that corner.
You know where Toyota is? You know where Toyota is? Drop off by Toyota.
Yeah.
Drop off by Toyota, we down that street. You're married to this Solo Harmonites?
Junction, not so? Right.
Let
you're
them
coming up just before that. The side street that you see bordering the Maritime Plaza. Right,
Yes.
that is it. That is it.
Right there,
On
sir.
that street. You're
Right there,
stopping
sir.
right there with the Maxi.
Not McIntyre gas station,
You
eh?
see the pep flag?
Not McIntyre gas station. The gas station down the road that used to be owned by Fidel Gonzalez. McIntyre gas station actually used to be my father gas station. Thanks a lot for calling, friend, and we will see you at the meeting this Saturday at 5. My father used to own Market gas station because my mother was from 6th Street in Barataria, around the corner from where this office is, believe it or not. Yeah, so anyway, Felicia, talk about the meeting and talk about Pep Market. You have some minutes.
Very nice. So yes, as we have been discussing all morning and promoting, and will continue to promote, this Saturday we open our 4th office, which is in Barataria 10.